What's going on, everyone? Welcome back. Today, we've got another live fantasy football mock draft for you back on FantasyPros with a 10-team full PPR mock where we will be selecting third overall. Our roster, 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, a tight end, a flex, and then 5 bench players. That's pretty much it, though, so let's kick it off. And while we wait, a quick reminder, if you enjoy, hit that like button, subscribe. Give us a follow on Twitter, X at AllDayPigskin to continue interacting with us there. Let us hear it in the comments. We will do our best to answer any and all questions. But with that said, look, the draft is underway. The first 2 picks are in the books. They are as follows: Jamar Chase, Bijan Robinson. Nothing really all that crazy. So now it's our turn to start building out the squad. So in my opinion here, honestly, drafting in the first part of the first round, I think I probably lean going wide receiver just because, especially in these smaller leagues, I think there's a better chance you can still get a pretty solid running back in the end of the second, early third. So, I could see a scenario where Derrick Henry falls to us. I think Chase Brown will definitely be there. Maybe Josh Jacobs as well. But, if we don't get a wide receiver, then I think we're going to be looking at the guys like McConkey, JSN, Garrett Wilson, and Higgins as our number ones. So I probably do lean going with a Justin Jefferson here, and then just, kind of let the draft fall to us afterwards at the rest of the positions. So let's see how that goes and if that pays off. So we went with Justin Jefferson, and boy, oh boy, some strange stuff happened here because the fact that Ashton Jeanty is still on the board for us is bananas, but let's see why that happened, right? So CeeDee Lamb went after JJ, then it was Saquon, Malik Neighbors, Achane. I like to see Achane getting some love, Puka, Jahmyr Gibbs, and Christian McCaffrey to round out the first. No real issues there. I know some people are very high on Jahmyr Gibbs, but I can make a case for all the running backs that were taken before him. McCaffrey, if you feel like the risk reward is, you're something you're comfortable with, then you're going to be taking McCaffrey in the first round. Then it was Amon-Ra, Brian Thomas, Nico Collins, Drake London. Derrick Henry doesn't make it to us, but again, Ashton Jeanty does. JSN and Ladd McConkey go off the board. So maybe because these 2 guys went here a little bit earlier in Ladd and JSN, we have the ability to draft Ashton Jeanty, which I think is, I think is a steal. So I'm not really going to waste too much time. I'm going Ashton Jeanty here, and I'm going to see what's left for us in the third round. So just to show you our squad, we started out with Justin Jefferson. We got Ashton Jeanty in the second, which again, I think it was a steal. And now we are looking at third round options. So after Jeanty was Brock Bowers, Tyreek, A.J. Brown. I'd probably be taking A.J. Brown ahead of JSN, for example. Lamar, the first quarterback, 302. So, we could go a number of different directions, right? We could go Trey McBride here, who I really do like. He gets you one of the elite tight ends that I think will shape the tight end landscape this season with Brock and McBride. We could go a quarterback like a Josh Allen, or I think, again, I mentioned him before, Chase Brown here is really, really intriguing. I've done the builds where I go Trey McBride in the third round or Brock Bowers in the third round, and you have to go with them in the third round. They're not going to be there in the fourth. And I just feel like the drop-off afterwards is not something I like. So for that reason, I'm going to go Chase Brown here at running back. I personally like him a little bit more than Bucky, than Josh Jacobs. I like those. I like his offense a little bit more so. So I'm going with Chase Brown, and then we'll see what the fourth round holds for us. But look, we started with JJ. We got lucky on Jeanty. Chase Brown pretty much average ADP. So I think right now, we're going to be looking at some intriguing options. To me, this is where the draft really begins. So we went with Chase Brown. Then Trey McBride, Josh Jacobs, Jonathan Taylor, T. Higgins, Garrett Wilson, Bucky Irving, Rashee Rice, Josh Allen, Devontae Adams, Jaden Daniels, Kamara, Brees, Kyron Williams, and Kenneth Walker. So looking at our cheat sheet again, I'm not really desperate for a running back. I've got Chase, I've got Genty. So Cook, Hubbard, I can wait. If we want to go quarterback, we've got Jalen Hurts as an option. Let's see if these guys here have got quarterbacks. One of them does, the other does not. I probably would guess that this team is going to be taking running backs. This team probably wide receivers. I really like Marvin Harrison. I think one of the quarterbacks is going to be there for us. So let's do this. Let's go with Marvin Harrison as our number 2 wide receiver. And then maybe we contemplate a quarterback in the next round. I'm going Marvin Harrison here. It's okay. You can call that a reach, but I mean, when the next picks, 1, 2, 3 out of the 4 were all wide receivers. Agree to disagree on if that is a reach. So, also, take notice, Jalen Hurts still on the board. We can go in that direction. We could go with a Joe Burrow to, get that duo with him and Chase Brown, get that little stack offensively. Wide receivers, I like Terry. I like DK Metcalf as my top 2 options. So right now, I'm not going running back. Cook, Hubbard would be, the top 2 guys. So I'm between Terry McLaurin, DK Metcalf, and a quarterback. With Burrow, the question is he going to repeat the success he had last year, like the historic season that he had? And then Jalen Hurts, a lot of success there in regards to rushing upside. What happens? Part of me really, really wants to go with DK Metcalf or Terry McLaurin. And honestly, I think that is the way that I am leaning. And I will probably go with... I just think there's a little bit of uncertainty with the Washington situation and Terry McLaurin right now. So only because of that, I'm going DK Metcalf. And obviously those quarterbacks will go. I'm not too worried about it. Terry McLaurin afterwards, Jalen Hurts, Chris Godwin, Chuba, James Cook, Xavier Worthy, Omarion Hampton, Tedero McMillan, Joe Burrow in the 6th round, great value. James Cook, Travis Kelce, Kyler Murray, Cortland Sutton, and Joe Mixon. So now we can pretty much go wherever we want, whether it's quarterback, tight end, just bench players. And I think that right now going with the tight end is pretty smart. Like, these guys aren't going to pick a tight end, so I can wait on Laporta since they've already got Bowers and George Kittle. So we can look at running back. We can look at wide receiver. Monty, DeAndre Swift, Aaron Jones, RJ Harvey are all guys I don't mind. Let's look at the cheat sheet, though. Devonta Smith's still there. Olave, Jalen Waddle, Jamison Williams. I'm trying to decide. I probably would rank the guys that are left with Monty, then Harvey, then Aaron Jones, then DeAndre Swift. I'm going to go with some depth at the running back position, and I'm going to go with probably David Montgomery, honestly. Yeah, I'm going to go with David Montgomery. And then now I can also get Laporta. And I'm going to go Laporta over Hawkinson since I've already got an investment in that Minnesota offense with Justin Jefferson. So kind of diversifying the starting roster a little bit more so. I know I've already got David Montgomery, but again, he's a bench player for me at this point in time. So yeah, Laporta here, or I could wait and get an Njoku later, and here I could just load up on RJ Harvey. Honestly, I think I might do that. Let's gamble and see if David Njoku is still there for us in the next round. Let's see if there's a run on that position. Looking at the draft board. So Patrick Mahomes, Chris Olave, George Pickens, Baker, Travis Hunter, Juwan Jennings, Jerry Jeudy, Travion Henderson, Khalil, Shakir, Calvin Ridley, Jordan Addison, Debo, Cooper Kupp, and Aaron Jones. Wow, Laporta and Hawkinson are still on the board for us. That's pretty wild. one, two, three, four, five teams didn't have a tight end. So basically, we had to make it through 10 opportunities of a tight end being selected. That's pretty crazy to me. Yeah, I mean, okay, I guess I'll go with Laporta. Odunze is still there. Let me go with Odunze first. I think that he can be a good value, getting some more wide receiver depth. So we're going to go with Rome Odunze. Oh, damn, what the hell? All these all these teams just selected backup tight ends. So, okay. Sir, you have 3 tight ends on your roster. But I guess that's the algorithm just going best player available. So, I mean, Hawkinson not an option anymore. Yeah, we got to go with the tight end now. I'm going to go with Laporta, even though I am a fan of David Njoku. And I think, I can see a scenario where he outperforms Hawkinson, he outperforms Laporta. But, let's go with Laporta here. Yeah, I'm going to go with Laporta. And yeah, the tight end run now comes to fruition. I'm going to show it to you guys here. A lot of red. Those are the tight ends, right? So you got, after our Laporta pick, Herbert, Njoku, Kincaid, Tucker Kraft, Dallas Goedert, Tyler Warren, yeah. And then a bunch of, backup running backs or running backs with questionable situations. So now we are on the on the clock again. Bo Nix, I think, at this point in time becomes the best we can do at quarterback. Let me make sure that these guys already have drafted quarterbacks. Oh, this guy does not have a quarterback, I think. Yeah, I'm going to go Bo Nix here in case Team 1 selects a quarterback. And then we're probably going to get a backup quarterback to an upside guy. Yeah, okay. Running backs, let me see what we got here. Did Brian Robinson go? Scrolling a little bit down. Yeah, Brian Robinson was drafted. Okay. So, I mean, Jordan Mason, I'm almost sure that Aaron Jones is going to miss time. So, I think he's a really, really good handcuff. Wide receivers, Jacoby Myers, Stephon Diggs. I'm just going for upside here. So with that being the case, I'm going to go with Stephon Diggs at wide receiver. I think he has more upside than Jacoby Myers because I feel pretty good about my wide receivers with JJ, Marvin Harrison, DK Metcalf. So I just have to make 2 more selections at this point in time. And wide receiver, running back. Yeah, the running backs I mentioned before are gone. So here we've got a Michael Pittman, Jaden Reed, Pearsall, Ayuk, Mooney. Yeah, okay. So I probably lean going with a wide receiver and then going a high upside quarterback. I think the wide receiver we're going to go with here is a Michael Pittman more than likely. He was playing a little bit banged up last year. Pearsall also somewhat tempting. It's really curious what's going to happen with the wide receiver room in San Francisco. Juwan Jennings, is he going to get a long-term deal? Is he going to play? Is he going to be, complaining? But Pearsall definitely showed the flashes. Ayuk, how he bounces back from his injury. I think there's just too many people in Green Bay with wide receivers. So I think it's going to be too difficult to kind of week in and week out trust one of those guys. So I'm going to go with Michael Pittman. And then, oh, damn. I didn't even realize that was our last pick. Okay. Yeah, we should have gone with a backup quarterback, but it's fine. If I went with a backup quarterback, probably would have been, let me think, Caleb Williams, right? A Jared Goff, maybe, something like that. But even with that being the case, I actually really like this roster. We got really lucky on some value picks. So Genty being one of them. Laporta, then Monty, RJ Harvey, Odunze. I really, really like this roster. It's got a couple players in important positions that could be top 5. Like Genty, I can make the case for Chase Brown, Justin Jefferson, Laporta potentially. Our bench is deep. But again, that'll happen with these 10-teamers. But I do tend to agree with the grade, A-. But hey, let me know your thoughts. If you guys enjoyed, hit that like button, subscribe, give us a follow on Twitter, X at AllDayPigskin to continue interacting with us there. And in the meantime, we'll see you guys in future videos.